It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for BCTV's Nightly News Roundup. I'm tonight's host, Roland Boyden, and this is 5:45 Live. Tonight, who's hopping in a time machine? What's happening with the Yankee Palooza? Why this weekend's calendar coverage will keep you guessing when to expect double the 5:45 Live, where you should be camping this weekend, and a whole lot more. All that in 15 minutes, so stick with us.
The Windham County Relay for Life gets kicked off this Friday, June 24th, at the BUHS track right here in Brattleboro. And at 6 o'clock, our opening ceremonies will commence, which usually includes a few minutes of chatting and some information updating, and is always started off each and every year by our survivor laps. And our survivors are distinguished by the purple shirts they wear. These are people who are currently in the fight and battling with cancer, and always we highlight those people. Those are the people we gather, and those are the reasons why we gather for the Windham County Relay for Life. 7 years now we've been at it. Our goal is $100,000. We are well on our way to making our goal. Contributions can be made at relayforlife.org/WindhamVT. Again, the Relay for Life gets kicked off 6 o'clock at the BUHS track this Friday. So create a team, raise some money. You still have time. We'll take donations the day of. Right there, you can find any one of our committee members and make the donation, or even a team member or somebody you might know, make the donation through them. And we hope to see you there at the Windham County Relay for Life this Friday, 6 o'clock.
That's Peter Fish-Case, chair of the Windham County Relay for Life, talking about tonight's relay. There's still time to get involved, donate, and make an impact, which means that tonight you could be camped out under the stars on the BUHS track. There you go. Welcome back to 5:45 Live. And welcome back to 5:45 Live, or as we probably should say today, 5:45 Not So Live. Well, the portion with me in the fancy attire here has been pre-recorded a little later in the show. I'll be beaming it over to my future self for all the latest information. In the meantime, it's what Commons News editor Randy Holhut referred to as Yankee Palooza. We were all over the coverage yesterday, but for those of you that might have missed it or live in a cave, here's the story. Yesterday, court hearings began at the U.S. District Court here in Brattleboro. Entergy has petitioned the court for a preliminary injunction that would allow them to continue operations while the lawsuit between Entergy and the state of Vermont plays out. The suit, scheduled to be heard by Judge J. Gavin Murtha in October, will determine if the state of Vermont does indeed have the authority to discontinue the plant's operation, as was stipulated in a 2002 agreement between the plant's owners and the state of Vermont. As part of the memorandum, Entergy agreed to make their continued operation contingent on issuance of a certificate of public good from the Vermont Public Service Board. But Entergy is now contesting that when state legislators voted down the certificate in 2010, they violated the agreement, leaving the plant's fate in the sole jurisdiction of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. At Wednesday night's NRC Safety Assessment hearing at Brattleboro Union High School, NRC Senior Resident Inspector for Vermont Yankee David Spindler commented on the plant's safety.
In 2010, Entergy operated Vermont Yankee safely and met all safety cornerstone objectives. This was determined based on independent inspection conducted by 2 resident inspectors, along with numerous region-based specialist inspectors and objective performance indicators.
And for the latest news today, it's time to send it via our remote webcast line to future Roland, who's standing by at what will be live in your time, in your galaxy. Roland, what's going on in the future? Past Roland. For my update today, let's start with those hearings and begin with Entergy Chair Attorney Kathleen Sullivan's debate. She, of course, is arguing what's now an Entergy catchphrase that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has absolute authority in the matter, not the state of Vermont. She also argued that because Entergy sells power from Vermont Yankee on the wholesale market to other New England states, it's beyond the purview of the state of Vermont to shut it down. But in response to that, the Vermont Assistant Attorney General Bridget Assay reminded the court that the 2002 memorandum between Entergy and the state of Vermont clearly stipulated that the state of Vermont did hold the authority to shut down the plant after their 40-year license expired. Those are just a few of the highlights, so if you want more in-depth coverage, you'd be better off heading to commonsnews.org, where Commons reporter Olga Peters is getting all the information updated on that website. Again, commonsnews.org if you want more than what I've got on my little blurb here. And before I go any further and send it back to you, back to the past, Roland, let's talk a little bit about the weather, because it hasn't even happened yet for you back there. Let's see what's going on. Today and tomorrow, rain continues. No shock there, and there's a possibility of thunderstorms in the mix as well. We'll hover right around 65 degrees until Sunday, when we'll trade in all this rain for partly cloudy weather. It'll bump up in temperature there to about 70, 75, and then on Monday, even though it stays partly cloudy, we'll get temperatures well into the 80s. So a little look at the weather for you, and that does it for me. From the future, I'll send it back to you, Pastor Roland. Thanks. Alrighty, thanks, Roland. Moving on, for our senior news correspondent team, Joe Bushy and Daryl Pillsbury, it's one of Brattleboro's greatest unmined treasures. They've taken to the water to bring us a special segment on our town's undeveloped waterfront.
Hey, thanks, Roland. Man, it's a beautiful day here on the water. We got Joe's boat out, and we thought we'd take a little bit of a look at the part of Brattleboro that seems to be forgotten, and that's the riverfront in downtown Brattleboro. What a area of opportunity for somebody. I think the town needs to develop this thing. At one time we were where we had the river garden, was gonna have a nice walkway down to the river down here, and then we were gonna tie it all in as you went toward the Riverview restaurant. And as you can see, nothing. And I just think this is an area that needs to be developed, Roland. And there'll be a show about this coming up in a future date, so stay tuned. We're going to talk about the waterfront development down here in downtown Brattleboro. Hey, Roland, we're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Joe Bushy, Daryl Pillsbury, or Gerald Pillsbury, my remote broadcast team, trekking around town just about every day getting me live clips. Thanks, guys. All right, and with that, it's time for our weekend calendar coverage. We talked earlier about the 2011 Windham County Relay for Life Cancer Support Fundraiser happening tonight on the BUHS track. The website you should head to is relayforlife.org/WindhamVT, and still plenty of time to get involved. And moving on with our weekend calendar coverage. The town of Guilford's 250th anniversary continues Saturday at 2 p.m. in Guilford at Packers Corner. Relive 18th century history with author Gretchen Jerzina, who will lead a walk from the site of the tavern at Packers Corner to the site of the homestead of early black couple Abijah Prince and Lucy Terry Prince. And after that event, if you want more, you can follow Guilford Conservation Commission Chair Linda Hecker for a hike along the abandoned road to Green River to the Burroughs Plains Cemetery. That starts at the Hecker Residence on Packers Corner at around 4 p.m. after the Packers Corner tour wraps up. And why ever leave Guilford when you can attend their strawberry dinner from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Guilford Community Church for reservations of a meal that includes ham, baked beans, potato salad, coleslaw, deviled eggs, homemade rolls, and strawberry shortcake. Call 802-257-1819. And that all happens Saturday. There you go. To wrap up the events for this weekend, dancers of all ages are invited to attend a contra dance this Saturday at Pierce Hall in Putney. Beginner sessions start at 7:30 p.m. with the dance getting into full swing around 10. An informal coffee break with desserts included will be going on as well. And if you want more coverage than just me flaring my nostrils while I read your press release, then email me. Roland@BrattleBroTV.org is the email you'll use. ROLAND@BrattleBroTV.org. And with that, it's time to move on to our BCTV Schedule Quick Glance. The Quick Glance is my daily opportunity to shamelessly plug what's coming up here on BCTV on both our Comcast channels 8 and 10. Tonight on Channel 8, at just after 8 p.m., we have the Vermont Youth Orchestra's 2011 Winter Concert, and that's followed by Organic Trade Association CEO Christine Bushway's 2011 Slow Living Summit session. That starts at 12:30 a.m. Tonight for all you sustainable nocturnes. And 2 hops up the dial at Channel 10 tonight, we have the Brattleboro Union High School Awards Night and Art Show. That starts at 8:45 p.m. And finally, a reminder that you can catch the rebroadcast of the dynamic and ever-entertaining 545 Live following mornings at 9:15 on Channel 10. And as always, you can find our complete schedule for both channels updated to the minute, along with live streaming and video on demand for all local programming at BrattleboroTV.org. And that's a full it, everybody. Thanks for checking in with me. But before you switch over to SportsCenter, remember, we'll be back Monday with a new week of hijinks, remote broadcasts, calendar coverage, schedule, quick glances, interviews, event highlights, and more. For BCTV and 545 Live, I'm Roland Boyden saying good night, everybody.